stand-up.
Sure.
By the way, being a comedian is an addiction.
Going in front of people and asking for adoration and approval is not. If I said this on my HBO special, but it was true. Yeah. If I was balanced, I would just be the funniest guy at Enterprise.
Yeah,
I would just be a manager at an Enterprise right now and being like, sometimes I make my coworkers laugh a lot, but instead, my hose is crunched, and so the water's shooting out weird. So every night I go, "Did you guys ever think about this? I think about this. Is this okay? Did I think about this?"
Oh, thank you.
You know what's fun about watching an hour of comedy about a thing that killed most of your family? Is it feels like if we were in a trial, and someone annihilated my family, right? Like if I was sleeping in the basement and they didn't find me, but they killed everyone else. It'd be like if I was watching a great defense of that, where you go, I love this lawyer. You know what I mean? I would go like, the points he's making are fantastic. Maybe my family should have been murdered.
Because when I was writing all this material, I was like, because I resented, my dad's drinking when I was a kid.
So your dad did drink when you were a kid?
He did. But like, there's also, some of it is this, I feel like either I've gotten to the point where, I also, I used to have material about not drinking.
Yeah.
And then I would drink. I would only drink beer because I didn't want to get it out of control. And then when I'm sitting there compiling this set, I'm like, all right, how many jokes can I do about my impending alcoholism? Like you rationalize.
You're predicting the future. You go, let me get ahead of this so I look like a genius.
Yes.
That's actually brilliant.
But also what I realized is there is, it's not just my denial. Like
that we're just like, dude, the liquor store, as someone whose dad worked in a liquor store.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Top to bottom, you nailed it.
Oh, thanks.
The design of why don't we make it the back? I was like, dude, that's exactly how it feels. And what's crazy about working in a liquor store is you see everyone that drinks, and you realize everyone drinks. Yes. Like my dad used to open. There was a liquor. The name thing is great too. Yeah. Can I just say, as someone that lived in Astoria for 15 years, the fact that you brought up City Slickers,
yes,
on 21st, is it the one on 21st Street in Astoria, Queens?
Yes,
I used to drive by that every night home from the comedy clubs, and I would laugh when someone would be giving me a ride. We'd take 21st off the bridge.
Well, Christian Finnegan and Ted Alexander, when I was doing that bit, both brought it up to me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
anyone that lived in Astoria are like City Slickers. and your punchline on it's great. But I do like, when you said that, it was like, it's how I imagine when people listen to the podcast and I talk about Denver stuff, and I'll be like, I was driving by Parker and Quincy. They're like, I was just right there.
They're like, oh my God.
Like I was watching your special and I was like, City Slickers, I know, 21st Street. I
feel seen.
Yeah. But all that liquor store stuff made me go like, oh my God, this is perfect.
Oh, thanks.
Because the thing that my dad worked at a liquor store called Dan's Liquors.
Dan's.
Which I thought was because he loved me.
Yeah.
But it was because he was an alcoholic.
Was he named Dan?
No, I'm Dan.
I know.
His name's Gary.
Okay, that's right.
And he was like, I'm just working at Dan's Liquors in Mill Valley. And it ended up being where I would go in the summer and hang out. I would just like hang out at the liquor store. And there's like stuff around it, like the auto mechanic in the back, and there was like an arcade close by. But watching people come into a liquor store is fascinating.
I'm totally into the bourbon whiskey world, and it's just such a weird business that has yet to be a retail experience that has yet to be ruined by online shopping.
Yeah.
Like you can buy booze online, but like you can't do like Amazon.
No.
You know what I mean? So you have to, and it's also one of those retail shops where there's a lot of topics that I couldn't get, but I love how people that work in liquor stores, it's not necessarily required that they're polite.
No.
You know what I mean?
I would actually say it's a benefit to them if they aren't.
Yeah.
Because they're going to see crazy shit.
Well, they have to process I think I was in a liquor store in Rhode Island, and I saw this woman deal with this person. She's like, you got your pint or whatever, you got your bottle, now you have to leave.
Yeah.
And she's just babysitting this mentally ill guy.
Well, because also the thing about booze, like any kind of like substance, is you get excited getting it. Oh, so there's an excitement.
The ritual.
Yeah. You get excited, and he got his pint, and he was like, I want to hang out though. I'm about to hang out. I'm about to get fucked up.
I need someone to hear my story.
Yeah, like I need to talk to you. And she goes, I'm on a 9-hour day.
Yes.
At 7, I'm getting $7.50 an hour.
It's definitely.
And I got my hand on a broken bat, like a chopped off bat that I could fucking break your hand with. I would watch my dad. That was one of the first instances I saw at someone being negative towards homeless people for a correct reason.
Oh, that's so interesting.
We would open the liquor store, and it would open at around 7:30. So those were always the first people in to buy like the cheap vodka so that they could survive on the streets.
So they can get to like 3 p.m.
But I'm like a 7-year-old, and I'm like, the men sleep outside. That's bad. Yeah. And then they come in and they're like, ah! And my dad's like, get your fucking booze and get the fuck out of here. And then they leave, and he goes, you want to drop the cigarettes in the thing at the top that came down?
Oh,
that was so my favorite thing to do, was turn on the open sign and put the cigarettes in the chute.
There's a social equality in liquor stores, right?
Yeah, well, everyone's coming to get their poison.
Yeah.
Everyone's coming to get their thing.
But my point is that there are what humans live in denial of is that the poison, if you stop drinking, the poison will go away. But my point, like as someone who is a compulsive eater and as somebody who's a compulsive stand-up,
sure,
by the way, being a comedian is an addiction.
Going in front of people and asking for adoration and approval is not. If I said this on my HBO special, but it's true. Yeah. If I was balanced, I would just be the funniest guy at Enterprise.
Yeah,
I would just be a manager at an Enterprise right now and being like, sometimes I make my coworkers laugh a lot, but instead, my hose is crunched, and so the water's shooting out weird. So every night I go, "Did you guys ever think about this? I think about this. Is this okay?" They think about this, and it's compulsion. It's also why a lot of comics go through drinking phases or start really heavy boozers and become better comics when they quit, a la Joe List. Yeah. And a lot of guys that I know that stop and then they go, I got into comedy because I loved comedy, but I loved drinking.
It's so funny because like that, your whole age group of comedians, because when I was putting out Father Time, I would reach out to all these comedians and I was like, hey, I want to send you a bottle. And then what was very apparent is at least half of them were like, at least half of them were in the Mulaney thing. Like, I'd rather not have that bottle. You know what I mean?
They did a gift thing on Billions.
Yeah.
And, Billions is like the biggest production I've ever been a part of. It was awesome. It was really cool. But at the end of the year, they had this, what was the liquor brand that they had like a sponsorship with this whiskey. Yeah. And at the end, you'd go in on your last day of filming, you go in your trailer and there'd just be a bottle of whiskey like in there, and you're like, what are you doing? Do you guys not know me? And like, you just have a hooker with heroin in there?
It's like a $300 bottle.
It's crazy. I gave it, my father-in-law and my brother-in-law drank it when we brought it, and my father-in-law was like, this is the shit. And you're like, yeah, it's real good stuff. But my point is like, it's funny they just left it in a room where I was alone, in a trailer, where I was alone, where you're like, I could have locked the door and came out a different person.
There's stories of comedians going up to Montreal. I probably shouldn't say the name.
We'll keep the names out.
Where they went to Montreal, they had to remove the mini bars.
Oh, yeah.
Because they couldn't even have the mini bar in the room because it was too tempting.
If you drink and you think you might have a problem, watch the movie Flight with Denzel Washington.
Oh, yeah.
If it makes you feel weird.
He landed the plane upside down.
He goes, I'm good for another 20 years of drinking.
Yeah.
But if that movie in any way makes you feel uncomfortable, look into your drinking. Because there was the moment where the mini fridge is banging, when he opens the door. And I was like, I felt like. And so, at least in the first 5 years.
So wait a minute. So do you intentionally not stay in hotels that have
I don't care now. I'm past it now. There does become a time where I just know. Also, I'm not sober. I smoke weed.
Okay.
It goes somewhere. This is the point you were making.
That's the thing.
I have friends I have a friend that was a sex addict, stopped being a sex addict and became an alcoholic, quit an alcoholic and then became a compulsive eater. And you're like, it's like that Bugs Bunny where he's just sticking his finger in the dike and it's like sprouting out somewhere else.
No, it is.
And by the way, it's the human condition.
I think and some of it is like I was interested in it anyway, but like it's all self-assignment. So you sit there. It's like people think like, does Netflix come and knock on your door and say, hey, in 6 months we want a special? No, they don't.
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go fight them.
You gotta go do it, and then they'll see it. So it's all self-assignment. Even from that's where like the audacity of a comedian to just go on stage is pretty bizarre.
Yeah.
Right. It just doesn't make sense.
Fermenting anything is bizarre.
Yeah.
It's in the same realm. You know what I mean? It's the self-starter. It's the exact same thing you were saying about it's a self-assignment for stand-up with bourbon.
Yeah.
Is the thought of like, that's why I always knew that it's like a human condition thing when you find out guys get good at making prison wine.
Oh, yeah.
And you go, yeah, I would get good at fermenting shit if I had to
absolutely
live in a cell.
And, you know, obviously men and women, but like the whiskey world, the whiskey nerds, how they, you know, some of it, obviously alcoholism is a very serious thing. But what hopefully I identify in the bourbon set is that there's another level, which is a geekdom that is separate from the fact that it's a poison that, you know, that's crippled an entire island. You know what I mean?
You know how you're talking about how like society is broken in every way. These are one of those broken things where it goes, yeah, but I'm a diehard football fan, and I watch these hits at home eating snacks, and I go, ooh, and this guy's got brain damage now. So you can separate yourself from the fact that you go, well, I know this is bad, but I like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like there is like this. I think what has happened is this complete bailing on accountability. This like bailing on like, yeah, I know that kind of sucks.
It is interesting. The
it kind of
CTE
sucks,
thing,
and I
people,
do it.
like there was they had like a decade where people were like, this is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah.
Look at Jim McMahon. What has happened?
Yeah.
And now people are like, yeah, well, that's the cost of business.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. I was just going to say, well, that's the cost of business. And there really is a lot of that in everything where they go.
It's an abdication
You know
of
what else they're doing
responsibility.
it? You know what else they're doing it with?
Yeah.
Plastics and water.
Yeah.
Where they go,
Hey,
hey, man, sorry, you got a spoon in your brain now. And you
It's
go,
like,
no accountability at all? No. Like, we're trying. Maybe move the different kind of...
But we also are